Hope y'all were standing up then.
Hello.
Hello, it's Karen.
And Ruth.
Hello and happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. Woo, woo.
Or Independence Day, however you celebrate it.
And firework, bonfire night.
Or firework night.
Firework night.
Yeah. That's an exciting time to be alive.
It must be.
Yeah.
I bet it's 24-hour party people in America now.
Well, that's it, yeah.
How fabulous.
Yeah.
Following in our footsteps, darling.
Well, we set the trend, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, they have to copy us.
I
don't they?
know.
Anyway, we thought we'd just hop on and have a little foray into what shaped our view of America.
Yes.
From way back when.
In our lifetimes.
In our lifetimes, yeah. As people who grew up in Great Britain. And we're talking mainly about television shows.
Yes.
In fact, we're talking all about television shows.
Yes.
From way back in the day.
Well, they were definitely my first introduction to the American way of life. That and the cinema. Not the cinema, films.
Yeah, films, definitely.
James Cagney and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, the good old black and white.
Yeah, a lot of gangster stuff going on from what I can gather.
So a quick little fact about British TV history. Black and white TV became popular in the 1950s and colour TV started making its mark in the early 70s. So some of the original American shows we got would be in black and white, wouldn't they?
Yes. Yeah.
Like you mentioned to me, I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy.
That was a black and white show for a while.
Do you know, casting my mind back, I'm not sure, it's definitely colourised now. But I do remember Lucy always had very bright red lipstick. But my mum first fell in love with I Love Lucy. So I'm a sort of second generation watcher.
Yeah, yeah. Well, of course, you'd have been very young when that first came onto our screens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I Love Lucy. I couldn't get down with a lot of it. I only remember one episode where I was crying hysterically, laughing. Perhaps I was a little bit older and understood what was going on. But there was that, and what was the other one you said? Mary Tyler Moore?
Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke.
The Dick Van Dyke Show.
The Dick Van Dyke Show, the Mary Tyler Moore Show, but I'm pretty sure at one point they were married. But I'm sure our American cousins can keep us updated on that timeline.
Yeah. So I am a bit of quite a few years younger than Ruth, so... my recollection of American TV was slightly later on because I was a 60s child.
You were very modern.
Well,
you were the modern watcher. I'm the vintage.
I still remember black and white TV though, and I remember getting our first colour TV and how amazing it was.
Oh.
I mean, this was back in the day when technology was... You know, it wasn't even invented, so to speak, was it?
No. It was great when the wheel came.
When that last dinosaur went, it was a sad day. We're not that bloody old.
But, yeah, I remember colour TV. It was gripping. And the screen was, like, very small.
Yeah, yeah. And, of course, we only had one channel then, which was the BBC.
Oh, you had to get up and change it via the knob.
You did?
None of your remote control. Oh, and the aerial.
Yeah.
You'd have to adjust the aerial.
Snowy pictures all around.
Yeah.
Right, well, let's see. We're going to start from earliest to latest.
Oh, right.
So we're kicking off with Ironside.
God blimey, was that 1967?
Well, that's when it first aired, but I assume that was in America.
Right.
It won't have got to us until possibly the 70s. But I remember Ironside in black and white.
Oh, yes.
And then I remember it later on in colour. But Ironside, of course, was the... Was he a detective in a wheelchair?
I think he was a PI, wasn't he?
Was he a PI? Well, private investigator.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite progressive for its time, really.
Really was.
Having a disabled star.
Yeah.
And being a fully functioning disabled star.
And he was very clever.
Yeah.
at his job, he was, well, obviously the show was called Ironside. He's not going to be daft, is he? But yeah, it was brilliant. I loved a bit of Raymond Burr.
Raymond Burr, that was it. Yeah, and he had a beautiful young assistant called Eve who used to wear the most ludicrous sunglasses you've ever seen. Straight out the 60s.
Oh, dear. Well, it must have been a thing back then.
Well, obviously. And on to, of course, Columbo.
Wow.
First aired in 1971. I think this is probably, out of the ones we're going to show, the only one that stood the test of time. That's as watchable now as it was back then.
I am absolutely addicted to Columbo, aren't I?
Yeah, Peter Falk was so impressive in that role. He was absolutely brilliant. And we still watch it now. We catch reruns now, don't we?
Yes, yeah. I've had the box sets. I've had the DVDs. I used to watch it one after the other on... When I used to work night shift, I'd come in the morning, put the telly on, lie on the settee and watch back-to-back Columbos, and it would send me to sleep.
Well, yeah.
I could almost recite the scripts from every Columbo. I'm really interesting like that.
It was one of the most impressive shows to come out of America.
Brilliant.
Bar
and
none.
Of course, the premise being that we knew who'd done the dirty deed, and he... the programme was about him discovering it, so it wasn't a who'd done it, it was a, whoa, you've had your chips, Columbo's on case now. Fabulous.
Right, we'll move on. Just one more thing.
Yeah. Oh, you got me.
Good old Frank Cannon.
No.
Do you remember him?
I remember, but I'm not familiar.
Well, I think I used to watch him with my grandma, and all I remember about him was he was a balding, fat, sweaty individual who used to romp about and solve crime. I think he was a private investigator as well, if I'm not mistaken. But further than that, I do not know. But what I like about these shows is that they were real people.
Yes.
They weren't like your Rock Hudsons and your Errol Flynns.
No.
You know, he was a balding, fat, sweaty man.
Yeah.
Excellent. Love that for you, America. Well done.
Oh, I remember these boys, and I basically remember because it was, even in those days, it was Kirk Douglas's son.
Yeah.
He wasn't even, what's his name?
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. It was Kirk Douglas's son.
Yeah.
Didn't watch it a lot, but when I did, I liked it.
Yeah. Streets of San Francisco. This was aired in 1972.
Yeah.
I liked it, and I liked this other fellow. Carl Malden, was he?
Can't remember, Karen.
I think he was called Carl Malden. I don't know. I used to be fascinated by his nose, though, as a kid. That's all I remember, because he had this big bulbous nose. But
Yeah.
that was a good show.
Yeah.
A lot of these, you see, they're all cop shows or PIs, aren't they?
Yeah, but it also gave us an insight into the streets, the way America is laid out.
Yeah.
Logistically, I mean, England is so different.
Well, yeah, we got to see all the scenery, didn't we?
Yeah.
Of America. In all of these shows, really, we got to see the scenery and the housing and the buildings.
And isn't San Francisco very hilly?
Oh, yeah. Kojak.
Oh, dear. Before Johnny Depp, this was the sexiest man alive. OMG.
Telly Savalas. He was sexy, though, in a
Oh.
bald kind of way, wasn't
Balding. He's got something stuck out of his mouth.
he? A lollipop.
A lollipop. Oh, lollipop. A lollipop.
Yeah, he took lollipops. What was his catchphrase?
Oh, you'll have to remind me.
Who loves you, baby?
Oh, that's...
He was so cool. He was so cool.
The coolest dude on the face of the earth, bar none.
Yeah, I think my grandma had a secret crush on him.
Well, who wouldn't?
Well, I didn't because I was a kid, but I think my grandma definitely had the hots for him. But
Oh, it's just got that je ne sais quoi.
yeah, another cop show that was. It was a little bit more hard hitting, I think, Kojak. But
Yeah. It was one of those rough, but with a heart of gold.
yeah,
You know, he'd rescue a kitten for you.
probably.
Yeah.
All right, schoolgirl crush time.
Not for me. I'm sorry, Karen, you look horrified.
Well, this aired in 1975, and we probably got it not long after that because I was definitely a young girl. I think I was maybe just into high school, so it would be about 11 or 12 when this pair hit the screens.
I was a young woman and I was already working.
It was, of course, Paul Michael Glaser and David Soul, and everybody loved Paul Michael Glaser,
Is that the dark-haired
the
one?
dark-haired fella.
Right, all I recall from this show was there was an awful lot of jumpers,
Yeah.
big jumpers, and a lot of jumping in and out of cars when they could have just opened the door. There was a lot of it was a bit racy and jumpery for me.
Oh, it was great. Do you remember Huggy Bear?
No.
Do you remember Huggy Bear?
Well, I didn't really watch it.
I think Huggy Bear, if I remember, I think he was like a bit of a police informant.
Oh, hang
or-
on, but Huggy Bear, was he a black pimp?
Yeah. No, it wasn't a pimp.
Oh, right, with terrible teeth.
I can't remember his
Oh,
teeth. I just
oh.
remember he was very good. I don't know, he had a pawn shop or something, as in Pawn. He was very cool, though, Huggy Bear.
Well,
He was very street.
yeah, all of the characters are cool, and but it was too jumpery and too racy, and there wasn't an awful lot of health and safety taken into consideration. At the
David
time.
Soul, of course, went on to have a record career.
He did.
Yeah. I don't know if he released one or two here. I certainly know one that was quite huge, and then I'm pretty sure he did another one.
Ichabod.
Don't think so.
Anyway,
Moving on.
Quincy, one of the unsung heroes of the medical establishment. He would break all the rules to get to the truth.
Yeah, he was in fact a medical examiner.
Yeah.
This aired in 1976. This was on our screens for a long, long time. In fact,
Yeah.
you could probably still find it on some channels.
Yes.
It was very much of its time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, again, he's a regular-looking fella. He's not particularly overly attractive, but he always used to get the dolly birds.
Oh, didn't he?
He used to
Didn't he?
wine and dine them on his yacht.
And just as they were about to do the dirty, he got a call.
Yeah.
He got a call. And then his boss would say, "Don't go there, Quincy. You're going to upset some people." And he'd start shouting.
Yeah.
And I've got a similar voice to Quincy now, I do believe.
You have actually, yeah. Good old Jack Klugman.
Loved him.
Now, I know Chips, which aired in 1977, was quite a popular show over here. All I remember is that the dark-haired fella was called Eric Estrada, and who cared about the blonde one, quite honestly, because Eric Estrada, again, everybody fancied him.
Did they?
Yeah, I've no idea what the other fella's called, but I'm sure he's a jolly nice chap.
Very. Probably got a lovely heart of gold.
Yeah, but these were, of course, motorbike cops, so that was a bit of a different kind of show. But
I didn't really watch it.
no, I don't remember anything else about it, honestly. I bet you can still sing the theme tune.
I can't,
Can't
Karen.
you?
No, I didn't watch a lot of the Love Boat.
The Love Boats. Dee-dee-dee-dee. I can't remember it, actually.
Oh.
So this aired in 1977. It was as cheesy as all hell.
That's what I found.
Yeah, sickly cheesy.
A terribly cheesy.
Yeah, but it was a must on a Sunday evening.
Was it?
Or Sunday afternoon. It was definitely a Sunday kind of show.
I used to work shifts in
Yeah.
77, so I do recall, this is going to sound very punny, the story started, but it always worked out swimmingly.
Oh, it was always a happy ending.
Yeah.
Always laughing and
Yeah.
giggling at the end. But it was so cheesy. Ooh, Mork and Mindy, this was another massive show over here. This aired in 1978.
Right, unpopular opinion here. Didn't like it at all. It really got on my nerves.
Did it?
It did. It got on every last nerve. It was just not my cup of tea.
Well, perhaps you were a bit older then, because I
was well older.
I mean, 1978, I was, 13?
Okay.
12, 13.
Herein
so.
lies the generational difference.
Yeah. Nanu. I
Yeah.
remember. And of course, a very, very young Robin Williams.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the bird was called, but really it was all about him anyway. But, I mean, even back then, where as a very young man, you could see how he was going to develop into a very good screen star, shall we say.
Yeah. The premise was silly. The story was silly and it wasn't funny. Was there a lot of canned laughter on it?
Probably.
You see, canned laughter puts me off.
Yeah. A lot of the American shows do that, though, don't they?
Yeah.
Magnum P.I.
Loved a bit of Magnum.
Loved a bit of Tom Selleck.
Knocking about Hawaii in them shirts.
He's a very handsome fella.
Very handsome. I did like him.
Yeah.
And he wasn't perfect, was he? He always used to bungle something a little bit.
Yeah.
But he'd got his British sidekick.
Exactly. Sorting him out, darling.
Sorting him out.
Yeah. So this aired in 1980, so a bit modern.
I was old enough to appreciate a bit of Mago.
But again, it was nice to see a different sort of state, wasn't it? You know,
Yeah.
based in Hawaii.
I tell you what, it looks fab in Hawaii.
It does.
Duh, 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 duh,
Yeah.
duh.
What's the national dish of Hawaii?
Spam.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Well done, Hawaii.
Karen, wasn't this a bit more of a gritty?
It was, and I'm only going to briefly say, Hill Street Blues, which aired in 1981, was very, very popular here. I couldn't get into it because the theme music alone used to make me cry.
Oh.
And to me, it was a very sad, emotional, gritty, but it was all very heartrending, I found.
Right. I don't recall a lot of it.
Yeah, so not really one of my faves.
No.
But we're going to finish with Cagney and Lacey, which aired in 1982, upon whom Ruth and I are modelled.
A bit. Of course, I'm the little fat one.
Are you going to be Tyne Daly?
Yeah.
Who was Lacey? Mary
Beth.
Beth Lacey and Christine Cagney.
Christine, you know, was quite a gay icon.
Was she?
Oh, so I'm led to believe.
You see, I have to confess here,
Oh.
I had a mad girl crush on Tyne Daly.
No.
I did. But bear in mind, I was only, what would I have been then? 17. Yeah, so I was in that very still, deciding on
What colour hair you like.
which way you're going to swing, Yeah, I did. I had a mad crush on her.
I think it was a beautifully scripted, put together, acted, because the difference between the two of them was they lived in different worlds.
Well, they were
didn't
chalk
they?
and cheese, weren't they?
Like Christine was a rich heiress, but with a challenging social life, and Tyne and her Mary Beth, with the husband and the kids. What was her husband? Harvey. Loved her. Oh, they adored each other, and it was just beautiful. And together, crime solving superstars.
And again, really, for its age, quite empowering for women, really, to see two female leads in, positions of power or authority or whatever you like.
And yet, two very normal. Poor Christine, she had terrible trouble with her love life, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Poor Christine.
Yeah.
But I loved it. Loved it.
Still could watch that now. That's another one I could watch.
Oh, never ages.
Over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it, really. That's our delve into the shows we were exposed to growing up.
And the impressions we got. So my overall impression, there's a lot of coffee and donuts for your breakfast. Colombo's fabulous.
A lot of fabulous looking cities, though.
Oh, yeah.
And beautiful Hawaii.
San Francisco, it used to fox me out. Anybody carried the shopping home, though.
Well, I know. I mean, that's extreme hilliness, isn't it?
Yeah, but they have a lot of trams. I'm sure they've got it sorted out.
Well, probably everybody drives now, I don't know, but...
Yeah, I think everybody drives in America.
Yeah. I think, really, and what I'd just like to say about any of these shows is, in the day, they were probably quite progressive. When you look at them now, possibly not. With political correctness, things have changed, etc., etc. But they never left me with any sense of any feeling towards any group or individual. They were just good shows to watch.
Yes, yeah.
They didn't particularly teach you anything. I don't remember being educated by them as a kid. They were just fun to watch.
And I think there was a lot of moral stories and...
There probably was, but I think they probably passed me by as a youth.
Yeah. But anyway, your favourite Karen out of all, you know which mine is going to be.
Columbo.
Oh, is yours Columbo as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Columbo wins. Peter Falk, rest in peace. You gave me years of pleasure.
Yeah, but I have to say, I've still got a fond spot for Paul Michael Glaser.
All right, then.
Anyway.
Happy 4th of July, all. Woo, woo.
Yeah, have a wonderful day and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for joining us. Bye.
Bye.